Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Rift News, the show many of you decided to watch because you never thought a healthy dose of copium could hurt you. Anyway, it's been a while since we have covered the news because, quite frankly, we were busy covering the news in smaller bits. But now it's finally time to sum up all the news Riot spilled at us last week. So as always, let's start with what is happening in League of Legends. Before we get into any kind of gameplay, we should mention that Riot released the new trailer for the Ruination book. This gives us a nice little peek into the setting. We can see the beautiful scenery of Kamavor, and we can see the beauty of human Hecarim. Now, while I don't believe Riot can turn human Hecarim into a skin, they can definitely do that for Kamavor and Kalista. But that's something we talked about in the last video, so for now, just know that the trailer is out. And now let's talk about actual gameplay. After all the trailers and teasers, Neela finally dropped onto PvE. And while we talked about her lore quite a lot already, we haven't talked about the abilities just yet. Passively, she enhances and spreads shields and heals of her allies. This makes sense because she is supposed to be a bot lane carry. But she also passively increases shared XP. This is to make sure people actually play her in a duo lane. Her Q passively gives her armor penetration, and it makes her attacks heal her. Actively, her Q slashes in front of her and gives her extra range. Surprisingly simple, isn't she? So that's why Riot hit us with W next. It's a shroud that gives her movement speed, magic resistance, and it makes her dodge all attacks. If you appreciated Samira for that ability alone, you'll be happy to hear now there are two champions in bot lane with the exact same ability. Except Neela can also spread the ability to her allies. Her E is a damaging dash with a fixed distance. It can also hold 2 charges. But you can also cast your Q during your E for even more damage on the dash. And when it comes to her ultimate, it is a massive burst of damage that pulls enemies in. The damage also heals her and the overhealing is turned into a shield. Overall, even though some abilities are repeats and other abilities are gonna get really annoying, it all does make sense for Neela. Remember, she is supposed to be a melee bot lane carry, so she needs the movement to close the gaps, and she needs the survivability to survive poke. But I find it funny that Riot calls her the first melee bot lane carry. But they don't mention that, in the past, they tried to do the same thing for Pantheon, Yasuo and Mordekaiser. So after she ends up in the jungle, I am looking forward to the next first melee bot lane carry. Anyway, besides Neela, we also got all the Star Guardian stuff. And since it is all happening during the big summer event, it's time to get excited! Right? It's been 3 years, I think it's time for PvE to return. According to PvE, it seems like the Star Guardian skins will arrive in 2 waves, just like what happened to High Noon. Neela's launch skin is one of these new Star Guardians, and it works for her really well. Because her whip is watery, they could easily turn it into the bright Star Guardian weapon. Also, they turned her demon into a familiar. You slap all the Star Guardian effects on top of that, and you have a really good skin. Then we are getting Star Guardian Kaisa, which is the legendary skin of this skin line. This means that she is getting new voice lines. And I have to say, it is really strange to hear Kaisa's voice when she is not grim.
Lulu, your starlight is special. Let it shine.
I am really not used to that. While her new animations are not too different from the classic version, her new running animation does make her feel like she's running late to catch a train. With that said, the emotes are really good. And she even turns frogs. Appropriately with this month. But she also kept her toggle. But instead of a helm, she does have a visor that gives you an extra overlay. As an added bonus, there is a reflection in her recall. Now, it is a fake reflection. That is actually an upside down low-res outline of the model. But still, it's there so you can look up her skirt, I guess. Then there is Star Guardian Sona. This is the one a lot of people have been waiting for. The fan concepts date back to 2015. And I'm happy to say, while it is different, it works. It's a good skin and that's for a simple reason. Sona is all about visual effects. And that's exactly what all Star Guardians get. And then there is Star Nemesis Fiddlesticks. A strange creature that is hunting down Star Guardians. This was definitely a surprise to everyone, but it also works quite well. The abilities are great, the model is good, but in my opinion it is a blend of too many colors. Because he has the white, and then he has the pink, and then he has the dark purple, and then there is also the neon green. If they only went for dark purple and white, that might have been better. But that's totally subjective. I definitely don't dislike this one. A great bonus is that his familiar is trapped inside his cage. And then there is Star Guardian Echo. Unfortunately, this one is getting some beef. There are a lot of people who don't like this one that much. And that could be because he is not using his iconic green colors, and also because he just doesn't look like Echo. And I think I know why that is. First of all, he does not have his face paint. And secondly, he has different hair. And this is the one that grinds my gears. Because a lot of people wanted Arcane Echo to wear his hood and his mask. Because that's how Echo was portrayed in Arcane. But Riot refused to do that because that would change his outline, just like Yorik's hat. Because in order for him to have his mask, he also needs his hood. But with the hood, he would not have his iconic mohawk. While here, he doesn't have it either. Which kinda proves that Riot just didn't wanna bother with Arcane Echo, because changing him quickly would be quite difficult. Regardless, yeah, neither the face nor the hair really tell us that this is Echo. Besides that, his abilities are quite good. And a cool detail is that his time clone is actually his familiar. And just to get even more unlucky, Riot also gave Echo the prestige version. Now, to be fair, I really like the sword he's holding. The entire thing is a whole new model, and it feels like a totally separate skin. And the spell effects are also great here. So while this prestige skin is quite good, we'll see if it gets dragged down by the original Star Guardian Echo. Now of course, as always, all of these new Star Guardians have chroma skins. Even though I would really like it if they didn't. Many of you may not remember this, but in the past, Star Guardians used to be distinguished by their colors. That's not really the case anymore, as everyone has chromas now. Regardless, the chromas are fine. But Star Guardians are supposed to use very vibrant, bright colors. But all of those have their saturation turned down. So none of them really strike me as awesome. But again, I guess that is subjective. Besides this, we also got a bunch of other assets tied to the event. We got 2 new icons, one for participation and one for the pass, and a bunch of new icons for the Star Guardians. What's interesting here is that these match the portrait style of both Spirit Blossom and the Sentinels of Light. So this theme pretty much confirms that we are getting a visual novel. Once again, it is returning, and these will be your rewards for dating them. Which also means we'll get to talk to Fiddlesticks. Now, even though the second wave of the skins was not revealed yet, they kinda got revealed through the icons. Because we also found the portraits for Akali, Talia, Rel, Quinn, and Morgana. So all of these will also join the event. Each of the Star Guardians are also getting their own emote. And just like it happened in Spirit Blossom, I wouldn't be surprised if this was your reward for maxing out the relationships. And there is also a Star Guardian ward. Besides that, there is also the split emote and icon for Belveth. Now, here's the thing that we should also mention. When it comes to the pass of this event, all the icons and the borders and the chromas, all of it together, should cost you 9,500 tokens. That's the price for getting everything. And this is what a lot of people are mad about. Because right now, that seems to be quadruple the price of the other events. However, people may be forgetting the fact that by leveling your relationships with the different champions, you also get extra rewards. So I wouldn't be surprised if you got a lot of extra tokens on top of what you would normally get through simply winning. So when it comes to the overall pricing, I am gonna hold back on my judgment for now. Anyway, at this point, everyone knows about the trailer for the event. Looking at the style, it also seems to confirm a visual novel. But because the foundations of the visual novel were already made for Spirit Blossom and for the Sentinels, Riot had a lot of time to work on even more content for us. Which definitely is gonna be a brand new game mode! A game mode people have been waiting for! The one that's been missing for years! Ultimate Spellbook! Now, if you look at this game mode, you may notice a couple of stitches every now and then. The game mode is technically not new. They added in 15 new ultimates, which is admirable, and there is going to be a new announcer. But it is still ultimates added on top of already made game mode. Now, Riot did warn us about this. They did tell us that they would support Ultimate Spellbook into the future, because of how many players played it. So surely they are going to support it with a Star Guardian map! No? Okay, I mean at least the Ruination had a recaller. So at least we will get new UI, right? Also no? Will at least Viego's crown be replaced? Ah, it turned pink. Well, that's odd, we got a new game mode that doesn't fit Star Guardians thematically, with no visual update and no real gameplay changes. Well, because there are no new maps, there are no new game modes, and not even new UI, Riot is definitely working on PvE! Thank Bard, because with all this evidence it is undeniable that the Valorant City Park returns. Just like it was teased with the name of the trailer. Oh, I'm so glad we are getting a visual novel, Ultimate Spellbook and PvE, it's just so great. This is gonna be the best event ever. I am so absolutely positive we'll get to talk about this new game mode in the next episode of Rift News. So for now, there are just two more things to mention. First of all, Star Guardian Talia was confirmed to be this year's charity skin. Last time we got Olaf, and this time if you buy Talia you directly support Riot's Social Impact Fund. And the last piece of news is that while the Emporium is up right now, it will go onto a hiatus after it's over. We don't really know when it will return, but Riot will be reworking it, perhaps to fit the new Mythic Store system. And because we are going to wait a lot, in this Essence Emporium, instead of buying 3 new icons, those icons will be missions which you can complete for free. But that is it for the news around League, so now let's have a look at what is happening in TFT. When it comes to TFT, besides the new balance changes and the urge to strangle Volibear, Golden Spatula, which is the Chinese version of TFT, revealed that they will be getting a new Star Guardian Ahri and Lux. And they are likely not coming to the West. But don't freak out, this is actually not the first time this is happening. While the Golden Spatula looks exactly like TFT, they actually have totally separate cosmetics there. And they have way more chibis already. For example, they already have Ezreal and Misfortune and a lot more. So yes, it really does seem like the Star Guardians are gonna pass by TFT. But that is it for TFT too, so now let's have a look at Wild Rift. Since they are part of the same event, Wild Rift is also getting a lot of new Star Guardians. They are getting the Ahri and Misfortune, and then Rakan, and also Xayah. But Riot also gave Wild Rift a really cool twist. Remember how some people wanted the original Rakan and Xayah before they got corrupted? Well, that's why Wild Rift is getting the redeemed Rakan and Xayah. These versions of the 2 Star Guardian skins reveal their pre-corrupted forms. I believe these classify as augments, which is Wild Rift's version of Chroma skins. Speaking of which, there's also a new addition into the Stargazer skin line. This one is for Karma, and she also gets her own augmented version. This one is simply titled Ascended. Besides these, we also got something else that's really cool. Kassadin's brand new form arrived onto Wild Rift. This really makes me believe that he will also get an updated model in League PC. Because why else would the new art be there? Wild Rift have their own separate splash arts. It simply wouldn't make sense. Regardless, the new model has the updated Netherblade of Horok. And you may notice that it is using the exact same model as Ezreal's glove. And that's because it was revealed that both Kassadin and Ezreal are wielding the gloves of Nezuk. Apparently, this was confirmed in 2019. On Twitter, but still. This is a really cool reveal and it explains why both champions can teleport. And yes, also Kassadin's launch skin is gonna be Harbinger, which looks pretty badass. But even that is not where the news end, because Wild Rift is also getting 3 more Star Guardians of their own. There is Senna, the one with the shark that was teased in the trailer, Oriana with a pretty adorable ball, and Seraphine, which, as you may have guessed, angered a lot of people. Because Seraphine mains really wanna see this skin in League PC. And I don't blame them. This skin fits her really well. But here's the thing, Riot knew what this would cause. And so they tagged these skins as simply first to Wild Rift. So they will arrive to League PC in the future. However, given the fact that Seraphine just got a new skin, and given the fact that the event is already rolling, I wouldn't be surprised if we got these skins next year at the earliest. So while people don't have to be that mad, the waiting is gonna be long. The last thing we can mention is that Wild Rift is getting its own legendary queue. This is an extra competitive mode for the extra competitive people. It will have its own 6 ranks: Warrior, Commander, Guardian, Vanquisher, Immortal, and Legend. It is for solo players only, and it will always match you against people only 1 rank away from you. Because this would slow down the queues by a lot, this new queue will be open only certain hours of the day. So if you are really into ranked, this system is for you. And that is it for Wild Rift. So now on to Legends of Runeterra, where we have 2 new things. First of all, Kaisa was revealed together with some of her followers. These are people who decided to weaponize the Void, just like her. And during the reveal it was mentioned that frogs really like her. I believe that is a reference to her skin in League of Legends. And because Star Guardians are also supposed to arrive in Legends of Runeterra, I think it's safe to say Kaisa is also getting a Star Guardian skin. I would say this might also mean a new Star Guardian skin for someone like Ahri and Talia, but Legends of Runeterra likes to give skins to someone who doesn't have those skins in League. So really it can be anyone. Well, yesterday we also got a brand new patch reveal. This brought us a new update to Path of Champions as well as new skins. The update for Path of Champions brings in Wild Fragments. This is a new currency that you can use to unlock any champion. And you get it by leveling champions beyond their level cap. So now it should be way easier to finally play Jhin. Besides this patch also revealed the best skins we ever got for Legends of Runeterra. They are all themed after DnD. And in fact, that's what the skins are doing. In their normal version, they are playing the DnD, and in the leveled up version, you can see them in their role in the DnD. There is Nami Tidecaller, who also got her own level up animation, Bard, who has an augmented level up animation, Fizz Finslayer, who also has an augmented level up animation, then there is Monk Lee, Zillion Wisewood, which people really love, and Riftmaster Darius, who, as you guessed, is the Dungeon Master, and he's also the main baddie. And all of this comes in with a beautiful board with a beautiful soundtrack, which you've been listening to right now. As a hidden Easter egg, you can notice mechs vs minions and Tellstones. But that is it for Legends of Runeterra 2, so now we can quickly go on to Valorant. In Valorant we got the Prelude to Chaos skins. These are brand new weapons that can change their hue depending on your orientation, by which I mean the direction you are looking. Also, I really like the blade in this set. And don't forget that there is new summer merch for Valorant. Perfect for people spotting geeks at the beach. But that is it for this episode of Rift News. All of this still feels like calm before the storm. People have a lot of expectations when it comes to Star Guardians. I'm just happy we are definitely getting a new PvE. And while the next visual novel may be more lighthearted, I don't believe we will stay in the sunshine for too long. In the next video we are gonna dive back into some demons, and then when Star Guardian arrives, I don't think we are escaping demons.